Hey guys, Chris the Midwest Bass Hunter, and I'm going to show you a new reel that I added to my arsenal this year. The Lew's BB1. Alright guys, I picked up this reel late summer last year, and I threw it on a rod and started using it for crankbaits, spinnerbaits, moving baits. I picked it up in a 6.4 to 1 because that's what I wanted to use it for. Threw some fluorocarbon line, about, I don't know, 14 or 15 pound on it, and just use it to chuck and wind some baits. So we're going to check this thing out and see what we think of this deal. So the BB1, originally Lew's kind of revolutionized bait casters with the original BB1, and they kind of created this teardrop design. That was a new thing. The old round reels, you know, this kind of design kind of replaced those. And kind of after the success of the BB1, everyone else kind of came on board, different reel companies, and they started making their own version of the kind of low profile bait caster. Now, that BB1, and I don't have one, but it was not near as low profile as the new one. Obviously, they've changed a lot over the years. Gear ratios, all those things have really advanced and changed. But the BB1, you know, that kind of started it all. So Lew's brought back that name and put it on a bait caster, and is a great reel at a pretty decent price point. So first off, I'm going to show you the lighter, faster, stronger BB1. This was their the same logo that was on the original BB1. It's kind of neat, little bass in the middle there. Definitely a bass fishing piece of equipment. It's got an all aluminum frame, one piece all aluminum frame. It's got a lightweight aluminum machined spool, and it is kind of a higher capacity spool. With 12-pound line, it'll hold up to 160 yards. So it's a lot deeper, I would say. The spool's a lot deeper than a lot of the spools on the other bait casters I have. And typically for 12-pound line, most bait casters are going to hold about 120 to 130 yards. So it's a little bit higher capacity, which is another reason I wanted it for chucking crankbaits and spinnerbaits, because a lot of them baits, you really throw them out there and just cover a lot of water. So this does come in different gear ratios. They make a 5.1, a 6.4, and a 7.1. I thought about getting a 5.1 to use as a swim bait reel, and I may still do that. Put some big braid on it for throwing big jointed swim baits. The 95 millimeter boat aluminum handle, that's pretty standard. And it has the paddle style grips. This is pretty traditional for Lew's. In fact, the BB1 had the same style. The original BB1 had the same style of hand grips. I think they were like hard, like Bakelite handles though. They weren't rubber like this. Lew's, obviously they have a lot of reels with the wind grips, the knobs, and those are great. But I do like these paddle grips as well. No issues with these at all. Couple other things, got the drag right here, and that is got that. It's got an audible click to it, which I do like. That kind of helps you fine tune your drag a little bit more if you can just move it one click. And the same goes for your spool tension. Obviously, this is very important to help you from backlashing, and so it has an audible click. So it's easy to do fine-tune adjustments on it. I do like that. It has a lube port right here, so you can lube the main gear without tearing the reel all apart, which is nice. Some reels don't have that. It's a real pain. I like that when it does have that, so you can lube that main gear without tearing it apart. Sometimes you want to tear that apart, you know, to get in there and get everything cleaned up, but I don't want to do it all, you know, throughout the year. I just maybe want to do that once or twice a year. So it's nice to be able to lube that without taking it apart. It's a 10 bearing reel. It is nice and smooth. Sounds a little funky because of the line hitting the frame, but this is a very smooth reel. It just casts wonderfully, and you can cast light baits to heavy baits with it, and it really works great. So now it doesn't have the traditional little magnet brake that's on this side. You know, you turn it 0 to 10, you kind of put it somewhere in the middle. This has a centrifugal brake, and I know lots of reels are coming out with centrifugal brakes nowadays, and they do work pretty good. Luz does a good job at making centrifugal brakes. So this has 6-pin system. In the little owner's manual here, it tells you exactly how to use it. It says for baits that are between 3/16 and a half ounce, you use 4 pins. You have 4 pins on. For baits bigger than that, you only have 2 pins on or no pins on. So there's actually 6 pins, not 4. So I'm gonna show you real quick. And it's easy to get inside this reel, which is good because if you're gonna adjust those centrifugal brakes, you don't want to have to mess around with a screw or something to get inside of your reel. And this just has a little pin that you pull. Just right here, you just pull that, and then that opens the side. And then you can take out the side plate. So let's see if I can show you guys this. All right, so here's the pins. And the 4 that are white, those are the main ones. And the 2 blue ones, those are called speed pins. That's what they call them. I don't know if there's any significance to that name, but basically you can, it's gonna be really hard to see this, but you push them in and they click. And when they're clicked in towards the center of the spool, they're off. So they're not affecting the spool. If you pull them out, now it's on. So now it's allowed to move. So what happens when you cast, the spool starts to turn, those weights move outward. And that weight moving outward, it actually controls the spool and keeps it from overspinning, causing a backlash. So like I said, you can pop 2 of them out or all 4 of them out. Now, what you don't want to do, if you pop one out, you pop one right across it out. You don't pop 2 that are right next to each other. You always have them kind of symmetrical on the spool. The 2 blue pins are the speed pins. Same deal. Use both of them or none at all. And I tell you what, it works pretty darn good. When I first got this, I thought, you know, I just kind of wondered how they'd work. I've used other centrifugal brakes before. Most of my reels, though, they don't have that. So I haven't dealt with it a whole bunch. But this one does work very well. It does work very well. To put it back on, all you do is slide it into place and twist it. So you can find this reel anywhere from 130 to 160 bucks. If you can find a sale, you can get it maybe a little cheaper than that. But it's definitely a good reel. I've really been happy with it. All right, guys, so that is my review of the Luz BB1. Hope you enjoyed this video today. If you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe, hit that little bell so you don't miss anything, and we'll see you next time.